believe truth, honest, a wider perspective, not just thinking my nation, but entire world, humanity. I think through education, we can change thinking my nation. You see, that's too narrow-minded. And these are the basis of conflict, warfare. Thinking oneness of 7 billion human beings. We are same. We have to live side by side. Now some scientists say we are social animal. Any social animal, you see, individual's life depends on the rest of the community. So basically, we have the more, the compassionate mind because we are a social animal. Each individual's future depends on the community. So now to the world, future of happy world, you see, depends on the entire humanity. So now the education is the key factor. And then meantime, try to demilitarize the world. Then, although I don't know how long, due to global warming, now things become quite serious. So yes. That also, you see, it is quite silly. The world itself, now, you see, how long remain? Big question. Then within now few decades and killing. Silly, senseless. So I think two old persons, both you see very old and ready to die, then quarrel, then everybody see no sense, isn't it? Two old person, you see, they now near die, but meantime, you see, quarrel each other. So something like that, whole world now begin to ending. So now, let us be happy, peace, compassionate society.
Yes. Yes.
So
but
those,
there's the joy of having the logical analysis and thinking to bring to the table of dialogue and engagement with others that you respect as human beings.
Right. Thank you. So, my friend, we all have the same sort of responsibility. You see, to educate human brothers, sisters. You see, thinking, pay more attention about our inner value. That is the ultimate source of individual happiness, ultimate source of happiness of community, then finally happiness of entire 7 billion human beings. Making money, making weapon, just you see, making more money, no guarantee to bring inner peace. Okay.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, next.
Carolyn, are you going to say anything else?
I am going to say thank you, Your Holiness.
Thank you.
This has been a wonderful teaching and a stimulating engagement. And I hope that all of us takes this into our own world, spaces, communities, families, and engage in a dialogue about the many ideas that you have talked about and the need for us to come to a sense of a common humanity to save, to have a healthy, peaceful world. So it is in deep gratitude that I find myself with having had this chance to be a part of a conversation with you. And Richie, I also thank you for your contributions from a scientific perspective and your long history with both His Holiness and Mind and Life. So thank you to Jimpala and other translators as well. And so, Susan, I turn this back over to you.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just have just a few closing words, Your Holiness. Thank you so much, Carolyn and Richie and Jimpala, and deep gratitude to you, Your Holiness. Thank you for being with us, taking the time to be with all of us, for sharing your wisdom and your warm-hearted humor. It's really, really delightful to see you again and to be with you. And we look forward to seeing you again sometime soon, hopefully in person. And until then, we want you to keep safe and to stay healthy. And I have one final message before we go, and this is to share with you and with all the audience. There is a new film called Infinite Potential. And this is a photo of you, Your Holiness, with your old friend David Bohm, who you call your science guru. He's a quantum physicist. And this movie, this film, is about his life and his work. And in about 15 hours from now is the free global premiere of the film with the panel discussion. And then on your birthday, in honor of your 85th birthday, there'll be another showing and a panel discussion. And so we're really excited to be partnering with the Fetzer Memorial Trust in offering this film about your dear friend David Bohm out to the world. So people can get more information on infinitepotential.com. And we encourage you to take a look at it. So that's all. Just thank you, Your Holiness, and please be well and know that we love you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness.
Thank you.
Thank you. So individual life is limited. But while we alive, utilize our brain, combined with our sense of responsibility, well-being of 7 billion human beings, or this idea, you see, eventually in education field, then individual life limited, but this idea will remain some help to generation to come. Then due to global warming, then world become desert, then time come to go some other places. So, and also I think human being, lot of negative emotion, then go some other planet, also you see create more problem. That better, is it better to this life? We have very good opportunity, many good sources of ancient Indian masters. So now, some ideas, you see, live here, and then we new life with new brain, but same consciousness. So deeper level, some experience in deeper level is continue, life after life. Whether rigid division accept or not, you see, brain, new life, each life, brain. The consciousness, there are many different levels of consciousness. Grosser level of consciousness entirely depend on this brain. More subtle level of consciousness is more or less sort of independent. So that consciousness, life after life, go. So when when we utilize this life, it's a certain deeper level of thinking, the impact on subtle level of consciousness that will carry what you call the memory about past life. There are people, including myself, you see, when I was very young, I already recognized some search party member. So one story, I think my mother, she told me, the very day the search party member reached our village, nobody knows, but I already sort of very much excited. Then, about 3-year-old, my mother told me. Then some visitors, some strangers, something like, come. I run towards them. I recognize some of these sort of people. And Kesar Muche, you see, he wear one rosary given by 13 Dalai. So I took that rosary. This is my rosary. So this is funny, silly, but seems, you see, so some indication, because of that, some indication, you see, there is sort of memory about past life. And then one Tibetan boy in Lhasa, see, and he insists his place not in Tibet, but in India. Then gradually, as is a Tibetan from Tibet, come here as usually. So they also come. Then that boy insists, this is not my place. And he insists, South India. Then he insists, go to South India. Then parent with parent, then they reach South India, one Tibetan settlement. Then he insists the one monastery, his belong, previous life. So then reach that monastery and his own room. And he mentioned, now my glass here, open, yes, glass there. So such things, you see, the scientist, I think, difficult to explain.
Very difficult.
So such case, you see, there is something, the deeper memory about past life. That's the connection. So study and because of that, carry useful life, this life, and the impact and next life also use. So that my daily prayer, so long space remain, so long sentient being remain, I will remain in order to serve. That brings tremendous sort of inner strength. Not just a few years or a few decades, not a few lives, but infinite, till space remain. Sentient beings remain, I will remain in order to serve. So that prayer, Shantadevas, was a word. I usually, you see, recite that each morning. And meantime, the wisdom side, Pungmin, Pungbu Lashimin, Telatemi, Telatemi, Daja, Chik the Gurche, the Shishawa Pungdemis, I'm going to Chik the Gurni, Daja Shaw, Pungdemin, Daja Shaw, Kanshins, Lona, Kansas to go. Mazungang, Nasl of Daddy, Chen, that Zuzu can make the Chador.
So
다시샤와
together with
아,
together with Shantideva's the lines that I pray on a daily basis, I combine it with teachings on the wisdom side, particularly reciting a short passage from Nagarjuna, where it is really an analysis of the self in terms of 5 factors of identity, whether the self is identical with body and mind, or whether it is distinct, whether body possesses the self or self possesses the body. So when you examine the possible relationships in which the body and the mind, and as well as the self, can be in relation to each other, when you analyze in this way, you don't find what we believe to exist, which is an objectively real self. So I combine that meditation on emptiness using Nagarjuna's lines.
As soon as I wake up, I remember these things and thinking. It's tremendously helpful, my mind. So Nagarjuna, you see, mentioned Buddha. We pray Buddha. We believe Buddha. Where is Buddha? Beside his body is Buddha's body. His mind, Buddha's mind. Where is Buddha? So that I should
to change the words from Buddha to self. Yeah.
So thinking that,
And then
no, where is I? This is my physical and my mind. With brain, my mind, and my speech. Where is I? I want to ask you. David said, where is I?
Well, the neuroscience, Your Holiness, shows that it is not located in any single area. This is one of the important findings in neuroscience that is, I think, so beautifully convergent with the teachings from Buddhism. There are analyses which show that if you look at different studies and where the self has been located, it turns out it's all over the brain. It's distributed. It's not in any single location. And so I think that it corresponds to the analysis that you're describing when we deeply reflect and ask ourselves that question.
Right. Now here, destructive emotion. The basis of this destructive emotion, one, consider I. That creates my friend, is my enemy, fear, like that. That sort of antidote is altruism. Then the very idea of I, something there, antidote of that investigates where's I. No, nothing. We can't find. Just a mere designation. Buddha himself, mere designation. No independent existence of Buddha. So this is all negative emotion based on appearances, as I mentioned earlier, quantum physics, appearances. Then nothing exists as appears. Ultimately, everything just a mere designation. So these two things, one upaya kasoda, wisdom side, one method side, this bodhicitta and understanding about shunyata, very useful to tackle our destructive emotion. My daily prayer, about 4 hours, some other sort of recitation, some mantras, this also there. But my main practice is bodhicitta, thinking, and shunyata, paticca. These two practice really makes different Dalai-Lama. So what's the name? His Holiness Dalai-Lama nothing. Thinking, you see, these deeper line, daily basis, then change deeper level of our sort of concept. That's very helpful, very, very helpful. So sometimes, you see, in Tibetan Buddhist literature, they mentioned, so within 3 years, we can achieve Buddhahood. That's, I think, nonsense. It is better to think eons, eons, eons. And important is daily life should be useful, meaningful. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness.
Thank you.
Now, usually our meeting with a small group and some audience useful, but this time, though physical sort of the contact, but utilize modern technology, so reach, I think, several thousand. Some cases, I think, over 1 million people. So I hope, you see, our conversation, you see, some help, and particularly, you see, those students who study these subjects, I think they may get some ideas,
Yes.
mainly in South India. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness.
Bye.
Thank you. Now I'm hoping,
you. Bye.
as my friend Division, I'm hoping the touch nose. I always used to do that. You see, his nose very well equipped, and his wife also. So take advantage of that. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. See you again. See you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
His Holiness, a very warm welcome to you on behalf of each one of us present here at today's webinar. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Warm greetings from Amity University, Haryana, and from the Amity Education Group. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great honor to have with us one of the most illustrious sons of Mother Earth, Nobel Laureate of Peace, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, to address us on his vision of a peaceful and compassionate world today. His Holiness is the epitome of peace and compassion, and a living legend whose sheer presence inspires all of us and showers abundance of divine blessings on each one of us. The words of wisdom of His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji are a source of great inspiration to all of us to live a righteous life and to work with utmost devotion up to the last breath of our life for the service of mankind and Mother Nature, and walk with confidence and conviction on the pathways of peace, non-violence, compassion, and harmony. His Holiness, we feel truly blessed to have the privilege of having you today at the Amity Eminent webinar, which you had so kindly agreed to address us.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. We are so honored and privileged today to have with us His Holiness the Dalai Lama. At this time, when the world is in an unprecedented turmoil and crisis, people are trying to find their footing. No message can be more important than the message of world peace, and compassion that is being given by His Holiness. We at the Amity Education Group also base our philosophy on human values and working together to make the world a better place. And our almost 200,000 students and all of our colleagues in India and all around the world work towards this one mission, that what can we do at Amity to have a world which is better, more peaceful, and more compassionate. We have online with us today also our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, and our chairperson, Dr. Amita Chauhan. They are also my parents, and they are listening very carefully to every word of His Holiness. And after the talk, our founder president will also share his views briefly. Sir, we are so motivated. We are so grateful to you for giving us the opportunity to listen to you. And all actions of ours will be committed and directed to follow the principles of peace and compassion as spread by you all over the world. Your presence is inspiring, and we are so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
His Holiness, we are looking towards your words of wisdom to inspire us beyond our imagination and to join you in your crusade, in your mission to create a world of peace and compassion all around, including here in India, where we need it in plenty too. Your words of blessing will be a source of great inspiration and guidance to each one of us in the educational institutions, in industry, and in the society at large. Please bless us with your words of wisdom today.
Thank you. Certainly, it is a great honor to talk with you. I always, consider Indian brothers, sisters is something very close to me because I'm the student of Indian thought. Since the 8th century, the Tibetan Emperor Chisung Tezhen although at that time the very close link with Chinese emperor, so you see quite strong Chinese Buddhist influence. You see their tradition mainly, you see, meditate. Even today, the Chinese tradition, they prefer simply meditate, not much pay attention for study. And then the Shanda Rakshita, then Tibetan emperor, you see, invited top scholar of a Nalanda institution. His name, Shanda Rakshita. He himself, great logician and a philosopher. So therefore, you see, we are the student of Nalanda tradition. So, and then also, you know, this country, over 3,000 years, already developed concept of ahimsa, karuna. Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha himself, product of that Indian tradition. Ahimsa, karuna. And you see, over 3,000 years already developed the concept of shamatha, single-pointed meditation, and then concept of vipassana, analytical meditation. So I feel the India number 2 most populated nation. Number 1, China. India is second. The China, great nation, but the political system, authoritarian system. Now, in free world, India, the number 1 big populated democratic freedom because of the free country. So, and Tibetan, except there are some Muslims and some very late, I think, in 20th century, or not late, I think, the early part of 20th century, some Christians, some missionary school in Batang area. So otherwise, I think 90% are Buddhist. You see, we consider India as Arya Bhumi. So we consider Arya means not the race, but you see the spiritually highly developed, you see, country. And then Tibetan, as a Buddhist, once a life, you see, pilgrimage to Buddha Gaya. Like millions of Muslims go to Mecca. Similar, we Tibetan, so once a life, you see, a pilgrimage to Buddha Gaya. So, and then, you see, we have some very special sort of connection. So sometimes I expressing, we are actually chela of Indian Guru. So ancient time, you Indian, our Guru. And modern time, now I don't know. I think since we chela, sincere chela, learn many sort of knowledge from Indian Guru. Now Guru not much pay attention about this ancient, you see, Indian knowledge. You pay more attention about modern education, about material value. So we, Chela, is over 1,000 years, we kept all this knowledge. You see, we, this is not just meditation, as I mentioned briefly. We much pay attention, study. The Shanda Rakshita, he introduced Buddhism according to Nalanda tradition. So he himself, great scholar, logician. So we sincerely follow his advice. So according to Nalanda tradition, logical approach, even Buddha's own word, we not easily say yes. We always raise question, why Buddha stated that? And thinking, reason. So in that respect, Nagarjuna, his writing, immensely useful. I myself also, you see, daily my practice is to recite some verses of Nagarjuna. Very helpful, very helpful. So these, the essence of Buddha Dharma, you see, try to reduce anger, attachment, and then fear because of attachment and anger, fear come. So the Buddhist sort of knowledge, purpose of study, thinking these things, you see, reduce your own inner, also the destructive emotion. So my own case, my daily practice, you see, the two things, bodhicitta, altruism, based on karuna, that reduce self-centered sort of also thinking, me, that reduce. You see, thinking, entire sentient being. One sort of sentence from Shantadeva's book, I always say, recite, so long sentient being remain, so long space remain, I will remain in order to serve them. So all the destructive emotion, you see, very much related with self-centered attitude. So bodhicitta, thinking other, that is the direct antidote of, you see, these source of negative emotion. I. Then another is a Buddhist philosophy, quite similar, quantum physics. One Indian master, Raja Ramana. Raja Ramana is the once told me, quantum physics in the West is something new. In this country, 2,000 years ago, already developed quantum physics. And he recite some verses of Nagarjuna. It is exactly true. So things not exist as appears. Now quantum physics also say that. So there is big differences, appearance and reality. So all the negative emotion, you see, based on appearances. So appearance, things objectively exist. So all these negative emotion, destructive emotion, very much based on appearances. So the antidote of that go deeper way, then like enemy or friend appears something objectively exist. But according to quantum physics, deeper level, we can't find. So the Nagarjuna's theory, things are empty. The reason, emptiness, not nothingness, but things exist due to different factor. So we call patitta samuppada. So things appears something independently exist, but actually things exist due to many other factors. Now, for example, the negative sort of thing appears you very uncomfortable and develop fear and anger. So if you investigate, then the negative force not exist as appears. Negative emotion is almost half due to your own mental attitude. The worst kind of sort of troublemaker, if you think different way, or that troublemaker, you see, gives me opportunity, practice of patience, practice of compassion. Then you see, instead of anger, fear, you may feel gratitude. So, for practitioner about altruism, enemy is your teacher. And then the philosophical sort of explanation, things does not exist as appears. Now some Chinese student in Gansu University, I sent some book which we publish here, Buddhist Science and Modern Science. So when the university professor, some of them, you see, have the opportunity to study, to look, then they explain Tibetan Buddhism is true Nalanda tradition, and that Buddhist tradition is a very scientific religion. Some of the Chinese, you see, professors, you see, express that. So, the Nalanda tradition, you see, always you see, use reason, experiment. So that's very scientific way thinking. The Buddha himself, you see, express, oh, my follower should not accept my teaching out of faith, but rather thorough investigation. So all this knowledge, you see, from India, so we consider you as our guru. Now, 20th century, guru, not much knowledge of these things. All these gurus' knowledge, as we sincere, trusted chela, we kept. So today, the reality, I think something different. Traditional chela become guru. Traditional guru, not much knowledge. So now, I have 4 commitments. Number 1 commitment, I'm a human being. I always see, believe and express as the many occasions, entire 7 billion human beings, we are same human brothers, sisters. And according some scientists, we are social animal. So individual's life depend on the community. So now today, entire 7 billion human beings are one human community. Now there is not much sort of differences, Easterner, Westerner, Northerner, Southerner. We all, like economy, the modern economy, no national boundary. So with help of technology, now whole world, whole 7 billion human beings are actually, it's the same family. So my number 1 commitment is promotion of sort of concept of oneness of 7 billion human beings. This, I believe, a lot of problem in the past and even today, we too much emphasis, small country or community, nation.